everyone. So we are live again for Author Live Chat with Friends. Sunday, real life inspiring stories. And today we have author Quinton Douglas Crawford with us to talk about his book, The Global Situation. So today, 19th December 2021, 8 p.m. CST. We are live again, and I'm so happy to connect with all of you. Here's a little bit about the author. Quinton Douglas Crawford is a freelance writer, author, teacher, and organization leader with over 15 years of professional experience. He takes part in many local, cultural, social justice, environmental, and educational programs in and out of the country. He loves to contribute to the positive formation of a better present and future. So you can visit www.oneglobalbook.com to learn more about Quinton. So without further ado, let's welcome him to the show.
Yes, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi there.
Hello there. I'm happy to connect with you over here. Thank you for joining the show today. And how are you?
I'm fine. I'm a little cold right now. I'm over in California, and the weather is not exactly welcoming to be outside. It's nighttime now, but
Uh huh.
yeah, I'm safe.
Right. Right. So yeah, I mean, I know in the beginning of the interview, I actually briefly explained a little bit about yourself, but I think it would be great to also learn a bit more from yourself. Probably a little bit more about yourself that
Okay.
I've not mentioned.
All right. Well, you mentioned quite a bit right there. One thing I better mention because you mentioned the website. Um,
Correct.
this weekend until I believe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, my website is actually down. It's
Mhm.
stationed through the Philippines, and it is, I'm sure you know, over there in Malaysia, and other people may know,
Mhm.
as then a huge hurricane just went right through the middle of that country,
Yeah.
and a lot of things were knocked out. So I'm staying in touch with my publisher over there, and hopefully we're okay. Hopefully they're all okay. Um,
Yeah. You mean in the Philippines?
hmm?
You mean in the Philippines?
Yeah, well, the publisher is there for
Right.
Reader's Magnet is my publisher for um, the main book I'm talking about today, and one other one that I'll mention. Um, the main one I'll talk about is this one here, um,
Yes, the global situation.
the situation. And I I made sure I found all the graphics. I purchased each of the ones that I think that were the best to use for this book. And uh, in order to talk about the book, I guess I better talk about me a little bit more.
Mhm.
As you mentioned, I'm a part of several different organizations, and I try to be involved with things going on here locally and around the world. Um, I have, um, well, I'm a part of a major organization called the Sierra Club, and it is one of the original or originating uh, earth-friendly environmental organizations started here in the U.S., actually right here in California, about 45 minutes away from where I'm located. Live. Um, that's over in San Francisco, where the area where the World Series started, and Earth Day, and a couple other um, issues of global relevance. I, I'm interested a lot in making sure the world is going to exist well for the children that are here now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a principle that the future be taken care of like those in the present, or at least try to, anyways. When we leave, those of us at my age, I happen to be 50 now. Oh well, I said
Mm-hmm.
out there. um, or whatever age that us adults are, it's our responsibility to make sure that the youth have a world to live in as well or better than what we have been given. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you're about to say something?
Right. So one of the topics that you actually wrote in this book is about ethnic oppression and religious disorder. Now, I mean, like you probably would have actually written a bit more on other topics as well, but generally, I think there must be a reason behind why you wanted to write what you wanted to write. Right.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
why are these topics close to your heart, and what made you write on that topic?
Well, both as a teacher and generally as an adult, I believe it's my responsibility to make sure that others know more about what we can do to help make sure that the future is going to be the future for all of us. Um, and well, there's so many topics that let's say I care about. There's of course, as you see the picture here,
Mm-hmm.
our home.
Mm-hmm.
Trouble. Make sure the camera got it right. Yep. Yeah. Our home is in
Yes.
trouble.
Yeah.
Um, there is no planet B right now. There's no real true
Mm-hmm.
planet B for our existence. If we do not have this world, we do not have ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've covered several topics. Disrespect for nature, obviously, is a major theme, main topic that I tend to focus on. Oh, thank you for putting the image up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's quite a few things that I believe that humanity should really need to engage in, and um, nationalism, borders. We, I don't believe that they are really natural. They're
Mm-hmm.
they're a creation of many men in the past. Um, we should, instead of, I understand the Pledge of Allegiance and so for particular nations, pride and where you live, but I think we need to grow bigger than that. Um, we are citizens of the earth, not just
Mm-hmm.
here and there. Um, within page 13 of this book, I created a Earth Pledge. It's very short, but I'm sure this can be a boost for the future. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'll read this out to give a little more clarity. Um, I pledge allegiance to the earth and to all the life that it sustains. One planet, one Earth, irreplaceable, with sustenance and respect for all. There's a lot of faith systems that humans have created, and I have to say, as I've studied through them, uh, it seems that about at least 90% of them are a reach for understanding and care of our world for the next generation. Um, there's warnings I noticed as I've done some research that I better give right now. How much time I have with you. Um, the oxygen level of our planet is dropping. Um, the research that I have is on page 15. Those of you that will go look for this book. We know almost all of us have heard about the CO2, carbon dioxide levels increasing and causing and helping to motivate climate change, global warming, which is extremely dangerous. I would almost say, by show of hands, how many of you breathe oxygen? Along with the oxygen level decreasing in our planet, because us humans have been killing trees, bushes, grasslands, and the plant life in the oceans, where the majority of oxygen comes from. Without them, there's no us. Animals rely on plants for more than one reason, not just food, but air to breathe. The CO2 level is increasing, which is moving the sea level rise. So those of us humans that live on islands or island nations, such as I believe you do, Jasrina, as the oceans rise, there's less land to live in. And already seen the first amounts of climate refugees in the world. In the South Pacific, there's an island, I think it's Fiji. I may be incorrect on that right now, but many people had to be evacuated from their nation to another location where the island, or if they want to live on an island or live on a continent, they're safer from the ocean taking over. Any questions? Okay. No? Okay. We know climate change is going on, and we all know that right now. I'm sure with the rise and increase of hurricanes, oceans, and both in the Atlantic and the Pacific, and I don't know if the Indian Ocean produces very many hurricanes. It does? Okay. I haven't heard very much in the news over here in the U.S. We have a lot of evidence of climate change going on. There are a whole lot of fires that are occurring across the northern hemisphere, and I believe some in the southern hemisphere in Australia, and some other locations in the southern hemisphere of the planet. In the U.S., there are a minimum of 30 additional uh, climate change sparked fires just last year. And
Mm-hmm.
um, the Antarctic, actually, no, the Arctic, actually, there was a surprise temperature increase, which really put shivers down my back. Mhm. In the Antarctic, the Arctic, in June of 2020, um, the Arctic Circle area, the Russian name here, hard to pronounce it. Um, the temperature hit 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit. 100. That's extreme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's that's like having the sun right next to you. Um, in Russia, in July to September, in Siberia, there are great many wildfires as reported in that area. I'm sure Ukraine is in the news down there too. Um, same time frame. Um, Ukraine had many wildfires. Um, going down the list, let's see, Australia, Argentina, and that's a nation in South America. For those that don't know, a great many
Mm-hmm.
wildfires there too. Um, all determined by scientists as being caused by climate change and global warming issues that we're enduring right now. Um, any questions before I?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have been elaborating on the aspects of global warming and the changes that's happening with the globe that we are living in, with the earth that we are living in right now. Um, Now, I think apart from that, you also wrote about equality. You wrote about the oppression of women. So I'm just intrigued, like, what's your take on equality? Because I think for the past at least one decade, I think we have been focusing a lot more on women, right? So,
Mhm.
what's your take on equality? Because I think that it is focusing on either men or women is actually
Mhm.
dividing, you
Yes.
know, dividing men and women.
The better
Um,
the better the caretakers of the world and seemingly the best leaders, I mean, the countries around the world, and it's increasing in population now. In this have been women. Um, I look forward to the day that the United States finally has a woman president. I think we might have that next time. Next, we finally have a woman vice president. Um, she's actually from my state, California. Um, Miss Kamala Harris. Um, I'm sure going to be on the campaign if that does look like it's about to happen.
mhm.
Now,
Right. I
the
think,
go ahead.
yeah, you,
Oh, okay. The issues when it comes to equality or equity of for women um, in this world, it's changing partially because there's essentially a slow underground revolution, in a sense, you can say, around the world. uh, and consciousness, awareness that, well, I don't want to make the men mad at me saying this. Well, women are better at that job, being in charge of, um, I guess, nations. Um,
Right. Yeah, because I particularly the reason why I asked you that question is because I think we've been more divided, you know,
mhm,
than ever, like men and women. Because I think um, the relationship between men and women, at least in the recent past, have
yes.
actually been pretty bruised and pretty bad, I would say, because you're just focusing on yourself. Like I think the rise of individualism is also
Yeah. Hmm.
the reason why we are this way. I think the reason why amidst the pandemic, we can see people who are suffering from loneliness and people who are just um, you know having a lot of material success, but at the end of the day, when
Hmm.
you go back and see, like, what kind of spiritual fulfillment that you have, you probably wouldn't see much, right? So that I think that aspect is really something that's lacking in this world.
Yeah, when I wrote, I'll go back and forth with this, my children's book. I make I made this one. Muchi the Suchi visits the Peace People. Um, people from different parts of the world. Um, I I made this after really realized that the history books that I've seen here in the U.S. And luckily, I was working as a substitute teacher at the time, so I had to work with every grade level. Looking at the books that the kids were reading, looking at having to study, and noticing that all of the somewhat heroes in history were men. And they were men, usually of one or two particular race, that were always conquering and enslaving, some way dominating others. And there's no role models for the girls. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really realize that until really a few years ago. Uh, and I'm 50 years old now. All that time, I didn't realize. Uh, didn't make sense to me. I finally woke up. So I believe I needed to do something for the girls, at least try. Um, I thought the easiest or best way that I could do it time would be to make a children's book, uh, more tuned
Mm.
towards or for the girls. But also don't want to negate the boys. They got to learn this too. They got to learn stuff too. Um, I made the book sort of an antithesis to the history books that I was looking at in the schools. Third graders, fourth, fifth, sixth, and up to high school, even in college. I didn't see much that was tuned towards interest, motivation for girls to learn more about world history. They couldn't see themselves. Um, and another part of the reason why I wrote this book is I was embarrassed about a lot of the kids in the U.S. not knowing more than one, maybe two languages. Everywhere else, the kids know five or four or five languages. It's um, so. Oh, are we still on? Oh, yeah, we're still on. Okay. Um, are we still on? Okay. Yeah, we
Yeah.
blanked out for there for a moment. Um, the story I had the main character named Mushi. I was walking through the kitchen one day and it just popped in my head the name of the title for the book, Muchi the Suchi.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all of the history books I've looked at. They're always focused on war, as I was saying, conquering
Mm.
and destroying, um, or doing whatever evil manners, saying men and boys should dominate and kill.
Mm.
So I made this book sort of opposite of that. Um, and I was trying to think of what race the girl should be in the main character. So I decided,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, forget Earth, make her from somewhere else. So I decided an alien girl. I reached out to get someone to illustrate that character because I'm not that good at drawing cartoon type characters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a guy from Sri Lanka um,
Mm-hmm.
came in here. Um, yeah, it's okay. People can find it. Um, and another guy from China that offered to give
Mm-hmm.
me some little bit of help in um, both the translation into Mandarin and a translation and a little help with the illustration. I got Sri Lanka.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the alien character Muchi goes to different parts of the world, different time periods. Um, First, she goes to ancient Kush, oldest place she could find, oldest civilization. Um, when there's war, there's an invasion to happen. She says she will return when there's peace again. And she goes to another part of the world, ancient Mexico, um, where the Aztecs, when the Aztecs were in power. And before when the Spaniards came, they came to destroy, conquer, take their gold, jewels. And she says she return when there's peace again. She follows that same theme everywhere she goes. She goes to at least one to two civilizations in every continent. And ancient Europe, before it became Europe, she goes down to the Inca in South America before they got invaded, and so on. Ancient, and in China, before they unified to become one
Mm-hmm.
nation, way long time ago. It goes there too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so um, within this book, I also wanted the girls to read more about a little bit more about women. So a little further in the back of the book, on the last page, and I know it's maybe too small to show on the screen, but I have the first statement saying most of the human population is female. That's been true
Mm-hmm.
since we first existed. Um, Over 60% of humanity is female.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Whether we are all identifying as same gender or not doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of the population of humanity is female. Oh, oh you saw
Mm-hmm.
pictures there. Okay. Um, there's several questions I definitely want girls to ask in class, whatever classes they're in, especially social studies or history. Who were the women in leadership?
Mm-hmm.
Who were the good men? Who were the bad men? You should know that, especially the girls.
Mm-hmm.
The, the boys should usually follow along, of course, reality by nature, um, girls are, at least as far as I've noticed, are the main leaders by nature,
Mm-hmm.
and boys tend to be followers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a secret that I just exposed, but you don't need to know. Um, there's a lot of things about towards creating equality that were just covered. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I tried to kind of sneak in some information to the kids, to my children's book, and
Mm-hmm.
help lead them to find other information themselves, fill in the blanks that I I cleverly put in the book for them to find out themselves. They'll be asking questions, which is probably the
Mm-hmm.
best. Oops.
Right. I think you have pretty much shared quite a bit of things about the children's book as well, and how um, you would want to relay the message of equality, and how girls should be encouraged to ask important questions right from the young age in order to unleash their potential and
Hmm.
um, become a better person, as they grow up.
Hmm.
So what are the other books that you have actually planned out to write? Are you writing any new books?
Yes, I have a book called Knowledge for Tomorrow. I have
Uh-huh.
it's my first book. I wish my website was working right now. It'll probably working
Mhm. Yeah,
tomorrow.
I
Maybe.
actually saw that it's not really um, displaying the contents, your
Yeah,
website.
it's really good though. I have to say I put made my input in the website inspiration, and I'm trying to pull the book out of my bag here beside me if I can find it. Oh well, okay, it's okay. We'll see it later.
Mhm. Right.
Um, I'm writing my second volume of Knowledge for Tomorrow. Right, actually, right now. Um, I might finish it tonight. Um, I, the majority of that book is um, focused towards education
Mm-hmm.
and the flaws, at least that I've noticed as I've researched through education system, through kindergarten, through the senior year of high school. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there are things missing. Oh, there you go. You got the books right there. Um, Knowledge for Tomorrow is the great book right there beside my picture you just had. There you go. Um, in the second edition, I'm working on right now. As I just mentioned, education is a high main focus. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's essentially one of the cores, one of the that's three cores of life as we grow up. Education or spirituality and
Mm-hmm.
the other basic essentials, food,
Mm-hmm.
food, water, so on. Um, uh, I, as I just said, I notice a lot of missing things within education
Mm-hmm.
in the senior year or later years of high school. Many students, at least in America, not other countries, I've tried to focus as much as I could onto the UK education system, which is part of what's being mimicked around the world, and
Mm-hmm.
of course the California U.S. education. system, which is something I've noticed being copied in a lot of places. Um, um, within education system, I noticed that financial literacy, and I noticed it for myself as well, since I've gone through this system so personally. Financial literacy is not something that is very much that's taught very much. Um, Kids don't know
Mm-hmm.
how money should be used for themselves, how to save up, and so on. It's up to the parents,
Mm-hmm.
which might or might not do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so you, Jasvina, the way you are, at least as far as I can tell so far, you were taught some business, importance of business, and definitely social
Yeah.
responsibility. That's not
Correct. I think
everybody's.
yeah. I think um what we are lacking in this time of our lives is that we just probably focus too much on materialism and
Yeah, that too.
but I think in terms of what we give back to the universe, to the world that we are living in, to the mother Earth, I
Hmm.
think we are not really giving it thought, right? Like in terms of what are we doing back? So that aspect I think is missing in many adults, I would say.
Hmm.
So you just imagine that when the adults have they move on to have
Hmm.
families of their own,
Yeah.
they probably would just pass the same values down to their children. So it's going to
Yeah.
be
Some of us are not lucky
a
enough to meet our grandparents, and I'm glad I never met my grandmothers or grandfathers. My great grandma, not one of not one before she passed, but everyone left before I was born or old enough to know them. But there's so many
yes.
other cultures that you have, and I feel jealous. I'm a little jealous about it. Many other people um, have had the luck and joy of knowing their grandparents and having some of that wisdom and knowledge passed on.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so I think with that, I think we've covered pretty much a lot of things about your books, and I'm sure that those who are going to watch this later on will also be able to learn more about your books, all three of your books, and also your upcoming
Mhm.
books. So thank you so much for sharing about your books and also giving us a little bit of insights for all three books that you have written and the one that you're going to be
Mhm.
finishing up soon. Thank you so much. And I think with that, we are drawing close to the
Okay.
end of our show today. Do you have anything else to
But
tell your readers out there?
yeah, this book is being transferred. It's being translated into French and also
Ah,
into Spanish. In a
uh-huh.
few more months, but I get to Spanish. But it's already translated into French and in process of publication. Um,
Mhm.
Maybe it'll go to some other languages too. But
Right, that's fantastic. I think probably, when we touch base again in the next upcoming episodes, probably next year, I think, the books will be ready and we will have more things to chat about. Anything else that you would want to tell your readers out there?
um, yes, my autobiography is being published. I believe it'll be February by the time it's released. My
Mm-hmm.
website should be open and accessible tomorrow or the next day. Just keep a lookout.
Mm-hmm.
Keep looking it up. It should be up, and you'll be impressed.
Awesome, right. Thank you so much. And I think with that, we have come to the end of the show today. And I will be putting this up on Instagram and also on YouTube, and I'll be sharing the links to you. And this video, this live interview that we're doing right now, is going to be available immediately once the show is over on Facebook.
Okay.
It's going to be available for playback immediately. So on Instagram and on YouTube, I will be uploading that later on.
Okay.
So I'll be also
Uh,
sharing the link out to you, and hopefully that
Great.
gives more exposure to your folks and what you're doing. So, with that, thank you so much for joining me today, and it's a pleasure to have you on this show on this Sunday episode, talking about inspiring stories, and I love doing this. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being the guest for this week. Till we meet again, thank you so much, Douglas.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.